Katia Woods, Couple Soul Show.
Hello, hello.
Hi, hi, Gina. My
Hi.
question is for you. What drew you to the role? Because it deals with a lot of things, how to deal with, you know, the sickness, your imagination, and change. So, what drew you particularly to this role?
I think all three. I mean, the writing was stupendous. When I got the scripts, I fell in love with the beautiful intricacy of all of those things. I felt the way that they dealt with grief, the way they dealt with sickness, the way they dealt with mother-son relationship, his imagination, his hanging on to imagination was just so beautifully done and so woven together in a way that it reminded me so much of Fred Rogers and when Fred Rogers would talk about grief and how I really yearned for that kind of children's programming where we could talk about really difficult conversations in a way that's going to open it up because, I think during COVID, we had a lot of loss and a lot of children lost their parents. And I know we lost a few people in our family. And it was, I was yearning for a way to have conversations about grief. I was yearning to understand how one deals with grief outside of therapy, right? In a family. And this kind of started it for me. And it made me feel like I had a space to put it.
What about for you, Jonathan? What drew you to this? Because again, it's very, we don't often get to see material for children that treats them like intelligent little beings.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, preach right now. That's so
Yeah.
true. And exactly what you just said is a huge part of what drew me to it. Shannon and Peter aren't talking down to their audience. It's a really, I mean, it's fun, it's an adventure, there's a lot of laughs, there's music. So not to say that it's like a downer, because it's not at all. It's quite uplifting, but it doesn't shy away from really difficult topics. And when you said, just when you were asking Gina the question about change, I think that is a huge part of what drew me to it. And I even like when I'm watching my nieces get older, not looking at that as a scary or bad thing, but learning how to embrace change and learning how to like continue to stay connected to imagination and joy as you deal with adult issues and as you get older. And I think that this show really encapsulates a real maturity and a real kind of heaviness, uh, and a real connection to reality while still holding on to imagination and joy. And that's even reflected in the way that the animation is integrated into the real world. I feel like that's a great symbol for how the story is told and what kind of story we're telling.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with me. I really loved it. And I think this is for a lot of kids who are dealing with a lot of changes, including grief. This is a great, I think, opening to have those conversations, this series. Thank
Well,
you so
thank
much.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.